Hey, what's up guys? I want to clear something up regarding the Endgame DLC and the dropship because I have seen quite a few comments about this and I have received some messages asking me about this. And it's pretty much a Zeppelin in Endgame. Some people have noticed that there is a Zeppelin in Endgame and they're wondering, is that the dropship? First of all, let's answer the question, what is a Zeppelin? A Zeppelin is an airship that was used in World War I as a bomber, observer, possibly even transport. I doubt transport, but possibly. A little side fact: the Empire State Building was actually built with the Zeppelins in mind because they thought that the Zeppelins was going to be the type of aircraft that we were going to be using. You know, instead of like today, our idea of getting from point A to point B, if let's say there's 5,000 miles in between those points, would be hopping on an American Airlines flight or a JetBlue flight and going from point A to point B. Back when the Zeppelin was first coming around in the very late 1800s, early 1900s, people were thinking that it was going to be Zeppelins, like these big airships flying around on which people would be getting from point A to point B if point A and point B had 5,000 miles in between it. But due to economic, political, and logical reasons, the Zeppelins were rendered obsolete after some time. Economically because of World War II, politically because of the Hindenburg accident, and logically because it just makes more sense to hop on that American Airlines flight and get from point A to point B in 3 to 5 hours rather than getting on the Zeppelin, a big airship, and getting from point A to point B in more time than that, using up more resources, more fuel, because the Zeppelins don't go as fast as a American Airlines flight, as fast as an Airbus or you know, whatever other aircraft they're using these days for air travel. And that's what a Zeppelin is. It's an airship. And some people are getting the idea that maybe this is going to be the dropship in Endgame. Like, it's going to be a type of dropship. The Zeppelin has not been used in a war since World War I. That was the Zeppelin's first and last time being used in a war. And ever since then, the Zeppelin has been rendered obsolete due to the fact that, like I said, things like the B-17 bomber, B-24 bombers, B-52 bombers, B-2 bombers, those things are more logical to use in a war situation. And it would just be extremely odd if they had the Zeppelin as the dropship instead of like a C-130 or a C-5 Galaxy, because it just doesn't fit in the scene as well. That's like, you know, instead of the characters, like let's say the support character, that's like them having a Spartan soldier as the support character, you know? You're running around like a 300 soldier with a sword and your helmet and stuff like that, instead of the way the support soldier looks in Battlefield 3. It just doesn't fit with the scene. You've never seen a Zeppelin deployed in Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, because it was only used in World War I, the first and last time. And some people will argue video games don't have to be realistic, but at the same time, video games also have to kind of make sense and not be, you know, kind of whacked out at that point. Like I said, you know, if that's your argument, then my counter argument would be, what's next? You know, Spartan soldiers being deployed, freaking, you know, using a spear as a weapon in Battlefield 3. I know some people out there would actually think that would be cool. You know, it might be cool, but it just, like I said, it doesn't make any sense. What is the Zeppelin going to be used for? Because it was spotted in the trailer. It's going to be used as pretty much a flag for air superiority. You have to stay within the area of the Zeppelin, a certain distance from it maybe, to achieve the air superiority in the same fashion that you had to do in 1943's air superiority. In 1943, there was a mountain base, I like to call it, I guess, and there was like a flag there. And whichever side had more airplanes around that mountain base within a certain distance of it, within a certain perimeter of it, or radius of it, would achieve air superiority and would, you know, slowly start to win the game. And that's the way it's going to be with Battlefield 3 Endgame with the air superiority. You're going to have to stay within the radius or a certain distance within that Zeppelin to achieve the air superiority and ultimately win the game. That's the way it's going to be. The Zeppelin is not going to be a dropship. Like I said in my previous video, the dropship is most likely going to be the C-130 or possibly the C-5 Galaxy. Some people are throwing out some crazy stuff like the C-17 Globemaster, stuff like that. But if you look at the image, you have to match the airplane that you're thinking of with the image itself. And the only two airplanes I really do think that match well is the C-130 and the C-5 Galaxy. But the one that I'm leaning more towards is the C-130 due to the fact that we've already seen it in Battlefield 3 with the AC-130 variant, with the gunship variant. All they gotta do is strip the guns off, you know, fix it up so that way it looks like nothing's missing, and just put it in the game, and that's the dropship, and that's what's most likely gonna be, not the Zeppelin. That's just something I wanted to clear up because I did see some comments, I got some questions about it, wondering what is that in the trailer. So I hope I cleared it up for you guys. If you guys have any questions, any remarks, comments, whatever, leave it down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, found it informative, all I ask in return is that you take a few seconds, click that like button, favorite this video, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and until next time, guys, peace.